creating goals that will lead to success. So often we daydream about what we want to accomplish in life, but how often do we actually put together a plan for making these daydreams become reality? Why are celebrities the only ones who appear to be living extraordinary lives? Each one of us is capable of creating a roadmap of small goals which will help us achieve the greatness we deserve. These daydreams of ours are really life goals, and they'll be different for each person. However, be aware of simply setting those dreams as your goals without any real serious thoughts as to how you can achieve them. The results of that kind of goal setting can be disappointing because if you're not clear on or realistic on your goals, there's little likelihood of you achieving them. Then your goals will simply remain a daydream in your mind. How can you set goals that will lead to success? There's a wonderful formula that you should keep in mind when setting goals for careers, businesses, and personal aspirations. The formula is called SMART, and it stands for S, specific, M, measurable, A, attainable, R, realistic, T, timely. The more specific you make your goals, the more likely you'll have an actual goal and not just an idea that can be difficult to understand, yet alone realize. The more measurable your goal is, the more likely you'll be able to actually know when you've succeeded. Measurements like revenue, number of clients, or anything else that you can tangibly count on or assess with objective figures is a measurable goal. Setting unattainable goals is an exercise in futility. When you set attainable goals, you ensure that you have adequate resources and knowledge to achieve those goals. Realistic goals are harder to articulate than you might think. Sometimes the process of goal setting supports unrealistic goal making, which can lead to disappointment, failure, and loss of investment time and resources. So be sure your goals are realistic for you, not someone else. Goals need to be set within timeframes. Without timeframes, there's no sense of urgency, and that can lead to failure as well. In this video, we will examine different kinds of goal setting that utilize the SMART principles and support successful outcomes. Short-term goals. Goals can be either short-term or long-term. A good life plan has both. Short-term goals serve as an enabling stepping stone that will help you to achieve your long-term goals. These kinds of goals are enabling because they move the plan closer to the final long-term goals. They are like preliminary steps along the way to realizing an outcome. For example, securing a down payment would be an important short-term goal for someone launching a plan to purchase a home. Inspire the work. Once a short-term goal is realized, that success can help to inspire further efforts along the journey to final long-term goals. For example, producing a new business product that is met with praise can inspire you to create another product which will create additional revenue for your business. Help to keep efforts focused along short-term goals by serving as stepping stones across the stream of competing and distracting activities, occurrences, and events. For example, college course curricula are designed to keep students on track working towards their major. Each course completion is a short-term goal leading up to receiving their diplomas. A long-term goal may become more realistic if you break it down into smaller parts or a series of short-term goals. For instance, if you're facing a large debt, you may be paralyzed by fear at the idea of paying off thousands of dollars. However, breaking it down into smaller monthly payments lets you see a light at the end of the tunnel with a final payoff date in the future. Short-term goals help ensure the SMART principle of having measurable goals is being adhered to. If long-term goals are truly measurable, the degree of success of short-term goals can help to determine the success of long-term goals. Short-term goals can help you make adjustments and realign your objectives along the way if you need to. Think of these short-term goals as your life's to-do list. The more small goals you can check off your list, the harder you'll want to work to check off the rest of your list. Some goals may be fun, others may be tedious, but they will all lead to your ultimate long-term goal of improving your life. Long-term goals tend to be the major goals of any plan and are, as the name suggests, set out into the future for the long term. It's important to have long-term goals because these are the goals that reflect the ultimate outcome you desire. Long-term goals should articulate the purpose of your efforts and the motivation for your plan. For that reason, they should follow the S.M.A.R.T principles and be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. Let's be honest. Some people have a difficult time making long-term goals realistic and timely, given that long-term goals is set to be realized way in the future. There can be a tendency to make it lofty and unrealistic. That's why it's important to put a significant amount of time into setting long-term goals. Sometimes the process of setting short-term goals can help to clarify long-term goals and make them more realistic. For example, earlier, we used the process of achieving a down payment as a short-term goal toward realizing the goal of purchasing a house. If we stick with that analogy and change the facts so that the short-term goal of saving for the down payment is not achieved by the specific date, that would change the long-term goal of buying a house by a certain date. So instead of implementing a plan to purchase a house in 6 months, that plan could become one to purchase a house in 1 year. This example illustrates how important it is to have measurable goals. Without measurable goals, the whole initiative might have been dropped instead of adjusted. When measurable indicators are used, you can look upon them as an early warning signs to help keep you on target and give you room to make changes as necessary without abandoning your desired goal. The same holds true for the analogy of earning a college degree. Sometimes there are setbacks in our short-term goals, such as the possibility of failing a necessary college course, but one setback should not derail your dreams. Rather than drop out of school because you failed one class, simply revisit why you failed or ask if there's an alternative course you can take. If you don't want to adjust the date of your graduation, considering retaking the class during a summer break or an extra class during the regular semester. Experiencing setbacks and reaching our goals is part of the process because we're human. But we have the knowledge and capability to adjust our timelines and continue on our path. There's no harm in changing the path you're on, but there is harm in quitting altogether. So don't quit. Setting dates. One of the most important S.M.A.R.T principles used with setting goals is the principle of making goals timely. Without deadlines, it's easier to let other priorities steer you away from your goals. It happens. A current crisis, potential opportunities, and other everyday occurrences can contribute to something called oversight. Oversight is when you forget about your goals and necessary tasks associated with them because you're focused on other issues. Short-term and long-term goals, along with accompanying deadlines, help to keep the overall plan in view and you on task. Children have a favorite response when asked to do a task. I'll do it tomorrow. As a parent, we need to teach children how to do things in a timely manner so these unfinished tasks don't add up to a mountain of a mess. As adults with long-term goals, we should know better than putting things off until tomorrow because sometimes tomorrow never comes. Life gets in the way with kids' activities, work responsibility, unexpected bills. The list of life distractions can go on and on and on. These distractions are what cause us to lose sight of our goals and desires. Setting dates or deadlines for reaching your goals will help prevent this oversight and will help prevent future regrets about not following through with your goals. So as to not be overwhelmed, follow these simple steps. And prepare a chronological list of all the short-term goals you need to reach in order to accomplish a long-term goal. Schedule. Grab a calendar and set dates for each short-term goal. Assess. Pick a date once each month to review your progress and to assess if your dates are accurate. Now, get to work. Be realistic with your timelines to ensure that the short-term or long-term goals are attainable. On your assessment days, be honest with yourself about how much you've accomplished. If you've fallen behind, it happens. Allow yourself some extra time to accomplish each goal moving forward. If you've gotten ahead of the game, then you can either change the dates or surprise yourself by reaching your long-term goals earlier than expected. The key to this exercise is to move ahead with your plan instead of moving in the other direction. If your goals were neither attainable nor realistic, readjust and move on. Schedule time to work on your goals. The process of setting goals takes time and information. Be sure you're as informed as you can about any issues or opportunities included in your goals. For example, if your goal is to increase your client base, find out things like the competition. Who are your competitors? What size client base do your closest competitors have? How healthy is your industry at this time? How long did it take you to develop your current client base? How long do you estimate it would take you to increase your client base by 10%, 15%, or 25%? Is your level of revenue satisfactory according to your existing business plan? Are you covering your current costs and revenue goals? How much would you like to increase your revenue by, and how much would you need to increase your client base to achieve that revenue goal? The questions listed above are the kinds of questions a business owner might ask as she sets goals or he sets goals for building his or her client base. Depending on your goals, your questions may differ, but the objective will be the same: to provide you with the most comprehensive understanding of the issues and realities you want to address when setting new goals. If necessary, schedule time on your calendar to ensure you have a chance to work on these goals. Whether it's a little every day or just one day a week, make this appointment with yourself and don't give yourself permission to cancel. It's important, stick to it. So often we get carried away with caring for others, our families, our clients, that we forget to allow time to care for ourselves and our life goals. If you need to delegate some tasks in order to make them in time and in your schedule, then do so. Hire an assistant to help with small business tasks or outsource some of your household chores so you can find the time to make your goals a reality. Hire the kid next door to cut your grass. Hire a cleaning person to clean for you every week. Hire a babysitter once a week to keep your kids occupied, or be creative and borrow babysitting time with another parent. Don't use lack of time as an excuse for not achieving your goals. Not every goal has to be about work or career either. If you want to give your home a facelift this summer, that's a valid goal towards improving your quality of life. Follow the same steps for setting short-term goals and dates. Make another list of any equipment or supplies you need for this home improvement project and schedule your work time on the calendar. Reaching your goals takes time. And one of the greatest injustices you can do to your goal planning is to do it in a rush. Not only should your end dates be realistic, but allow yourself enough time to make your goal list and do whatever research is necessary so your list is accurate and up to date. Equip yourself with enough information to develop time to develop your SMART goals. Now remember, aim higher and elevate your life. Share your goals to maintain accountability. One of the best ways to ensure you follow through on your goals is to share your goals with peers or someone like a coach who will be committed to helping you stay accountable to your goals. Determine what you need from a support group, consistent reminding, daily emails, weekly check-ins, and share your ideas with those you think would support you the best. Tell them what you need or want for support and ask if they would be willing to keep you accountable. Here are some great ideas for getting help to maintain accountability. Family and friends can be tremendous support groups who share a general interest in your success. Joining an association for others in your field, profession, or interest is a great way to meet others who may be willing to help you be accountable to your goals. They may even ask you to do the same for them. Hiring a professional life or business coach is another increasingly popular way to get the support necessary to stay on track and on target with your goals. These personal coaches work one-on-one with clients. You may have conversations once a week, once a day, or at any other intervals you determine. A coach is an added cost, but for many of us, it's an investment that can help them realize tangible results in their business or personal life. Blogging. Some people even start blogs or vlogs to keep themselves accountable. Sometimes it's easier to announce your goals to the anonymous internet world than to your family and friends. Now, this is not recommended for business planning because you don't want your competitors knowing what your plans are. But if journaling online helps you keep on track with your personal goals, then do whatever will motivate you to reach those goals. The only way you'll be able to achieve your short-term or long-term goals if you're watching your progress. It's not enough to just set your goals. It's also important to refer to a plan. Do the work necessary and assess your progress towards your goals every step of the way. Keep your business or life plan close at hand on your desk or on a bulletin board and look at it regularly. Too many plans and goals spend their lives hidden in files, and that is sure recipe for disappointment. Remember that these plans are not set in stone. They are meant to be fluid and to change with time as your interests change. These plans will help keep you on your chosen path. When you reach a milestone, celebrate. Tell your family, friends, and accountability partner. Journal about it. Take special note of how good you feel knowing that your hard work has paid off and you're one step closer to reaching a long-term goal. If you're using the SMART principles, refer to your goals regularly to make the measurable points of progression included in your plan. Create a chart for each month that highlights progress you've made on your goal and keep that chart visible so it won't be overlooked. Goals don't just happen by themselves. They need your attention as you follow your plan. Goals are the beacon that remind us of our dreams and aspirations. If those goals aren't specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely, they'll lose their meaning and practicality and will cease to serve the purpose for which they are designed. Checklists for creating and realizing your goals. Remember to give yourself the time necessary to create goals according to the SMART principles. Make sure you'll have all the information necessary for creating your goals so that they will be realistic and attainable. Incorporate short-term goals into your long-term goal setting. Short-term goals are like preliminary steps along the way to achieving your long-term goals. Short-term goals are encourage you to assess your plan along the way and adjust as needed. Keeping yourself accountable to your goals is critical. Share your goals with someone else like a peer or coach. Monitor your progress towards your goals. Don't keep your goals filed away. Keep front and center so that your actions and tasks will stay aligned with your goals.